Yes, as you can see here, I am dressed for the occasion. So these King Gizz and the Liz Wiz, they put out two versions of their new album, The Silver Chord. One version, which is the original version, I suppose. It only runs about 28 minutes overall. The only other album I can immediately think of that's that long is the Green Weezer album. And then there's the extended version, which is the same songs, but the total runtime, I believe, is 80 minutes, which is quite the disparity. And I wanted to listen to both of those and see if the longer version feels more fulfilling or if the shorter version feels less bloated. So this part here is going to be just the short version. We're going to start with that, and then I'm going to wait a couple of days and give the extended version a listen. So without further ado, woo! Just seen in this YouTube playlist of their channel, they've got the music video that combines the first three tracks, Thea, the Silver Chorded Set. But then in the playlist, they also have the individual track Thea, and then the individual track Set after the. Yeah, a bit redundant. All right, I'm gonna play the official video that combines those first three songs on the album. So, first one is Thea. It's already reminded me of the last time that they went fully electronic. I think it might have been the first time they went fully electronic, which was the Butterfly 3000 album. Although there's a few more very industrial sounding kind of drums and sound effects. So, I mean, I've only listened to Butterfly 3000 once, so maybe that was kind of like what it was already, but I remember it being a little more chilled out. Is it just me, or do their glasses in this music video remind anyone else of the Tool logo? Like the band Tool, because it's got the O's in the middle, it's got the L on the end, and then if you're not looking carefully, the bit on the left kind of looks like a T. And in the video, they're just standing around and vibing in a purple forest. I'm still waiting for the bit where it gets really good. Alright, this must be the Silver Chord now. I definitely didn't hate Thea, but I wasn't really feeling it all that much from first listen. Okay then. Well, at least they're trying to change things up. What the fuck? Okay. Oh, is that Cabs twerking? Yeah, give us more of that. Okay, now he's just popping a squat. Is this the least King Gizzard sounding King Gizzard song of all time? Alternate question, is this the most pop sounding King Gizzard song of all time? At least this part. I mean, the part where it sounds like Donald Duck getting strangled, that probably wouldn't do very well on popular radio stations. Okay, this is presumably Set. Getting more of a robo-disco kind of feel. This is more of a typical King Gizzard style vocal line. Okay, so I thought it would be cool to do the first album reaction for this video as an outside shot. However, my MacBook ran out of battery during the opening three songs and I couldn't plug it into a charger outside, so I just said fuck it and listened to the rest of the short version in my own time. Set is definitely my initial favourite from the album, followed by, I suppose, Swan Song and then Extinction. But my initial impression is that only Set is the one that feels complete in its 3 or 4 minute version. The opening track, Thea, was definitely the one that sounded the most like it was unfinished in that shortened form. And luckily for me, the extended mix is a whopping 20 minutes. It's only about a minute and a half shorter than Kraftwerk's full version of Autobahn, which is a masterpiece. So I'm definitely hoping that it could at least somewhat meet the level of Autobahn, or just not suck. That's the bottom line. So let's go. Let's go. Let's do this. So yeah, the opening part of Thea, it's more than pleasant enough. It just feels like it should be something a little bit more. Well, we should be getting up to the bit that doesn't appear in the shortened version, so hopefully it only goes up from here. I'm going to compare the length of this to Autobahn by Kraftwerk, but I'm hearing some slight musical similarities between the two songs as well. You got the motoric drums and those little sunny synth bits also, you know, they're not directly ripped off, but I can hear they definitely sound at least partially influenced, you know, by Autobahn. Woo! That might be one of the most misplaced woos in a King Gizzard song ever. Oh, there's still more than 10 minutes left of this! Come on! 10 minutes. We're getting some slightly more interesting melodic layers in the middle part here. Alright, we're going back to the earlier melodic parts of the song, and now my enjoyment has gone up by like that much. Do you really have to make us wait 16 minutes for this? Okay. Were there parts of the extended mix of Thea that I enjoyed? Yes. Would it make good background music to put on while I'm working? I could definitely see it that way. Would it sound better listening through headphones? I could definitely see it that way as well. Did it feel worth 20 minutes of my time just from that listen alone? No. Now we've got the title track extended mix. The original title track, the shortened title track, was very head-scratching. Would fleshing it out a bit more change that fact? Possibly not. So let's just get into it. What the fuck is he even singing? Okay, so I was right from my first listen. The word uncircumcised does appear in this song. Okay. I better stop putting this off. We've got to get through like an hour of this crap now. Come on. This bit sounds kind of tacky. I'm sorry, guys. I definitely would have preferred this song if the short version was just more like this bit. I will say that the title track of the Silver Chord is a definite example of the extended mix improving on the shortened version. Still, listening to the entire thing, it's far from perfect. And yeah, I don't know if I could do this today. Oh god. I'm maybe not in the best overall mood to be listening to this sort of thing, so it's not necessarily a fault on the music itself, but the music at its core feels just so one note, at least figuratively, that jamming it out, it doesn't always make up for that, at least from my initial impression. So I'm at least going to give the extended mix a set a try, because that was definitely my favourite out of the short mixes. I think hearing this again has genuinely lifted my mood a bit. I don't remember this much Ambrose rapping in the original version. I do remember this bit where it slows down a little. That's a decent beat switch up. Yeah, we're 7 minutes in now, and it definitely doesn't feel like it's been longer than that. Ooh, that's a good transition. Well, I consider set in its 4-minute form to be a success, and I'll be damned, I think the extended mix, the 10-minute version, is pretty much a success as well. Normally I would think that with electronic music I'm more inclined towards the atmospheric and melody-focused electronic styles, but with this album it seems like maybe I'm more inclined towards the rhythm-focused and danceable tracks. Yeah, so maybe it's not just purely the repetition that I dislike about parts of this album. It's just the fact that maybe some of the parts that are being repeated maybe aren't quite as fulfilling to me. I don't know. I'm going to persevere onto the Changi extended mix, which is 10 minutes 47. That's right, this is the more Butterfly 3000 sounding track. Okay, I think it's actually pronounced Chunga according to the lyrics, so my bad for the mispronunciation. This one definitely starts off promising. These drums are nuts. Alright, this sounds like it's the start of the proper extended bit. See, I feel like this song has like a distinct personality to it, whereas a song like Thea, especially in the extended version, it's just kind of random noodling that doesn't really, you know, it's just noodling for the sake of noodling from my first impression. But this has got this quirky, funky organ in it. What am I doing? How much left in this? How much we got left here? We've got 2 minutes. It's kind of plateaued here a bit. Not bad by any means, just not as exciting as the middle part. Yeah, the return of the vocals has kind of recovered some of the quality of this mix, I feel. Chunga was already one of the better songs in its short form, and the extended mix is another one that works for me. We're finally eating good. I'm just going to keep the album running because it's already long enough. Don't want to waste too much time. I don't think this was in the short mix of Gilgamesh, was it? Because I just remember Gilgamesh sounding like an electronic version of a song like Gaia. One of those thrash songs with the, ancient religious themes. Like, yeah, this definitely doesn't sound like it's leading to that. Here we go again with Ambrose. I do remember this being somewhat interesting enough, but I don't really remember vibing to it as much as I have so far. Because this is part of the original song. See, this is the kind of odd King Gizzard shit that's actually enjoyable. Because honestly, sometimes when they go to these weird areas, it kind of feels slightly gimmicky. But this really works. Alright, more of a blissed out breakdown here than a full-on rave. This absolutely originally started off as a thrash song. It had to. They're already singing Swan Song, but it's not even the end of Gilgamesh. Yeah, so Swan Song was another one of my favourites out of the short versions, so if the extended mix of the last few tracks is anything to go by, I could be in for a treat. I feel like I'm entering the Matrix. Must be about 8 minutes in now or something? Yes. I wouldn't say that this is a resounding success like the 3 extended mixes that came before it, but it definitely doesn't feel like it's dragging on for an eternity. Yeah, the original mix of Swan Song is another one that also does okay enough in its short form. And now the final extended mix of Extinction. Definitely not the worst song in the album, but not exactly the best either. Does an alright job though. Oh, I've been sitting down for too long. I think I'm just going to stand up for the whole of the second half of this. It's one of some of the best atmospheric sounding synths on the album as a whole. At least that's what I'm feeling right now. This must be when the original melodies are reprised towards the end. Yep, we've got a minute and a half. We've got a minute left. And there we have it. Swan Song and Extinction aren't the best extended mixes out of these, but my word, what a turnaround. I was like this close to just giving up on the whole recording after the Silver Chord extended mix. But yes, Set pulled me out of the abyss, and Chunga and Gilgamesh kept me away from it about as far as possible. I was expecting the extended mix of the Silver Chord to be more enjoyable than the short version. But yeah, maybe it wasn't quite as clear-cut as I would have expected. I didn't think that I really liked general house music. Based on that, maybe I do. Or maybe I just kind of like the way that King Gizzard does it. I'm not really sure yet. I'm thinking that the Silver Chord might be in with a shout of the best King Gizzard release of the last 1 or 2 years, because it very much won me over in the end. The problem for me with King Gizzard's work is that some of their stuff of late hasn't really had all that much replay value. Other than Omni and Gatherum, the last King Gizzard album that I've listened to multiple times would be Infest the Rat's Nest. Infest the Rat's Nest. Ice Death, Changes, they're decent enough, just not really, they just didn't really dig their claws into me. And then honestly, Petrodragotic Apocalypse just kind of felt like a retread of the Infest the Rat's Nest thing, but not as hardcore, and a lot of their metal stuff of late has just been yeah, so it's kind of wearing off on me, frankly. Silver Chord, I think, proves that they're going to a lot of different places still, and they're not completely suffering for it. It's not the most consistent album of theirs for sure, but overall, thumbs up for sure. Yeah, thumbs up.